What's up, world, and welcome back to the Global Frequency. I'm your host, Nefarious.
And I'm Frequency Girl.
And today we are joined by DeWayne Doherty from Wakeverse Comics, here to tell us all about his creator-owned comic book crowdfunding campaign, Crescent Blue, Conquer Darkness, live on Kickstarter. DeWayne, what's up, man?
What's up, guys? Thank you for having me on the show. I appreciate it. It's been a long time.
Absolutely.
Being a fan of your stuff to finally be on here is pretty awesome.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks so much. We're always happy to meet a fan, and we're glad to have you with us to talk about your book today. But you know how it is. Before we get started talking about the book, we got to get to know you a little bit better. So where are you from? Where did you grow up? And what do you do for work when you're not moonlighting as a comic book creator?
Well, me, I'm a born and raised Arkansas country boy. Lived there pretty much all my life. Got married, moved to Oklahoma. So it's always been my second home. And, you know, when I'm not doing comics or drawing, I'm actually a full-time caregiver for my disabled wife and my son who has autism. So I'm just at home all the time.
Okay, so what kind of comics do you like to read, and what kind of comics did you read growing up?
Well, me, I didn't really read any comics growing up, but what I do like is the independent comics. Like I have a bunch that I just ordered, a bunch that are coming into me. So I like more of the independent style. You know, the big two, you know, they're kind of falling out. You know, they had their time to run. I think it's time for independents to, you know, get up there and shine. But my story started by watching Dragon Ball Z, you know, those Saturday morning cartoons. And then when I was a little bit older, I started watching Spawn, you know, during the night. And, you know, it was one of those, you know, shows, those cartoon shows that it was like, wow, this is kind of dark, but I kind of like it. And so, you know, I started getting to that, you know, type of storytelling and stuff, the little darker stuff.
Mo says, oh, here we go. You've already started, you know, poking the bear with this. I got into comics with Dragon Ball Z. Yeah, I know. All this is like, oh boy, we're talking about the animes and the mangas already. You know how it is, right?
When Goku turned Super Saiyan, you know, everybody who watched that loved it. Like everybody waited after those 5 or 6 episodes of the build-up when he finally turned into Super Saiyan. That was like the best moment ever. The like pinnacle of DBZ.
Better than you know, like I don't know, a Western superhero moment, like when Cap hits Thanos in the face with the hammer, with Thor's hammer, and catches it in Endgame, and everyone in the theater just lost their damn mind, and there was popcorn going everywhere.
That was pretty good. That
like,
did give me goosebumps.
I know. I remember Goku going Super Saiyan when I was like 13. I get it, but you know, these days our comic book stories are few and far between as exciting as they were when we were young. So I understand what you're saying about not really reading anything that's on the stand coming out from the big two. But what's your relationship with comic books as a whole? You're here talking about making one, so I want to understand why you are enamored with the medium. I mean, it's a whole lot easier to just type, you know, words and make a novel, or to, you know, do something like, you know, make a short film or a stop motion animation to tell stories. Making a comic, especially since you're the artist, the writer, the letterer, the colorist on the comic book, like that's an enormous undertaking. What about comic books speaks to you to that degree that you would want to make one?
Well, what I think about comics is that there's just something about them, you know, when you do read them, there's like Superman. He's a character just from his suit alone. You can just, the guy who's the true justice in the American way, just somebody, when you look at him, he just stands for something. And that's what I like about characters like Batman, Superman, Green Lantern, Green Arrow. You know, they all represent something. You always know what they look like. They're iconic by their suits, the way they act, you know, the way they're told in certain books. And, you know, just the way they're treated, like in their, you know, cartoon form, you know, the voice actors deliver them into their way where they're, you know, just something iconic and never be forgotten. So when usually Saturday morning cartoons when I'd sit down back home and watch with my brothers. That was like the thing that always got me into drawing. It was like my getaway. So when I would always draw, I'd draw Superman or Batman or draw my own original character. So that's kind of how I got into comics and stuff, is just by drawing just what I saw on Saturday morning cartoons and things.
So
that
it was
just spoke to
mostly
me.
the animations and like the characters that drew you in, not
Yes.
so much the medium, the newsprint, panels, story composition, that kind of thing. It was mostly the type of character, their portrayal, and really the animated stuff. Like you said with DBZ, that was animated. It was anime, but you know the Saturday morning cartoon stuff is also very. It's animated, so it's very visual forward, right? Were you gonna say something? Oh, we should say hello to everybody in the chat.
That's
right?
what I was gonna say. With my mind.
I'm doing
Hello,
that
everybody.
right now.
We have DeWayne was first, and he says he needs a frequency membership card.
You do. We should make
if
those.
we had
should make
those, we could maybe give them
frequenting the frequency.
But it would definitely go to Mo Biggs. Mo Biggs would absolutely get a frequency membership card. He would probably be president of the frequency.
We don't have Thursday shows specifically because we can't have Mo Biggs on Thursdays.
Yeah, well, we have one Thursday show next week because it's the only day that the person Nondor.
Oh, right.
It was the only day he had. So hi, Mo Biggs.
We got Aldous with us too.
We also have Maddie Fowler,
B-O-W. Bow.
And Aldous. He said it was good to see me, and so did Mo Biggs.
Oh, so yeah.
You like me better.
They do like you better, and with good reason.
We have Jeremy. Hey, Jeremy.
What's up,
Let's
Lord
learn about
Crackhead?
this creator-owned comic.
Crack Pack Bow. We've also got Ollie. And
I'm scrolling.
John Rossi.
Hey.
John Rossi joining us on Facebook, one of our very few Facebook viewers. We're glad to have you with us. John's usually got some really good questions, especially about comic book characters and superheroes. So since you've got a superhero book, we're definitely going to want to hear from John. Mo says, if it's at this time, I can make the beginning of a show on Thursday. It will be.
7, so it's next week.
Nondor's always a fun guest to have on. He's done some really interesting books, and he's actually written something for me, and I like what he wrote. So,
Hi, Abe. Quick, before Mo times me out, I just need to say something. Well, I don't have a feeling you were already timed out, Abe.
Like, really?
I don't
He's
think
already gone. He doesn't have a chance to type it. Right. Okay, so why did you decide to start making End?
You should have said it
when you had the chance. Yep, it's already gone.
Sorry.
Silence. We do not condone the silencing of our viewers unless it's by Mo Biggs because they're talking about manga.
That's the only person that's allowed.
Right, mod privileges
really do
like
anything.
that. Right. Mo can time out other mods too, so I don't know how he does it, but he's done it before. So
Must obey the Mo.
Yeah. Anyway, I was going to ask, what made you decide to start making and publishing comics? I mean, was it just like a passing idea that, let's make a 9 grid and start filling in panels with people talking? Like, what was it that got you going?
No, actually, I started drawing since I was like 13 or 14. And then when I graduated high school, I just stopped drawing in general because I wanted to pursue my, college football. So I put art on the back burner and just did college football. And, I was able to excel in that and do stuff, past that. I was able to coach college football and stuff. So I was pretty proud of that. And then, I moved to Oklahoma, got my bus ticket, came here, met my wife, and then things just went downhill for me. My wife kept having surgeries. We were told we might lose our little boy, and just, things weren't going my way. And so I finally decided, to get some of that stuff off my chest. I decided to try to just dip my hand back in drawing again and just writing stories of characters that, I've always had up in here, but I haven't put them on paper yet. So I really just wanted to sit down and draw them and make concepts of all of them. And so I have like 6 or 7 or 8 boxes in here in my art room that just have pre-designs of what my characters look like then and what they look like now. And then I just decided to make up a little story for each of them because they all represent something in my life a little bit. Like Crescent Blue,
Gotcha.
he's just like the light and hope of my life. So, and there's a cool story about that character I'll tell you later on.
Yeah, definitely when we get into talking about the characters and the world and everything. So no formal training in storytelling through sequential art. Mo is obviously devastated. What a surprise. And you didn't really learn to write or draw comic books. You just kind of are self-taught doing illustrations.
Yes.
Like I said, you do all the line work, all of the colors. You do your own letters, obviously the writing. Do you have an editor that checks your story and art beyond, say, proofreading your dialogue? Do you have someone to proofread your dialogue? Do you have an editor of any sort?
My wife is actually, she writes books, so I'm glad that I have her so she can proofread my stuff. So before I was even able to launch Crescent Blue, I was like, babe, read my stuff, make sure it's great. Look over it, make sure I'm not, have any words that are jumbled, mixed up, or if I need to rephrase some things in my book. And oh man, when she read it back to me, oh God, I had to rephrase a lot of things, put things back together, add a little context to my book. She just made sure to help me escalate it into a better, story than I already made up. So she helped me make it even better than what I already, I was able to make it.
Awesome. So it sounds like she really understands, character development and story structure and how to tell a story and, what is necessary to establish information about the characters, context for the characters in order to.
Yeah, because every character I've created, I've read it by her first. Because I'm like, hey babe, can you help me, what should this character, have design looks? Should I edit his design? Should I add some extra color, give him more story, give him more, just more personality? Because when I write down a character, I want to make him the best I can be. But if my wife can help me just energize my character up a little bit more, I do that.
It's him. It is. So it's a weird question. But what is a comic book to you metaphysically? What makes something a comic book as opposed to, say, like a comic strip or a manga? Like, is there something that defines comic book? Is there a comic bookness to comics?
A comic bookness to comics, you have to have a character that means something. Because if you just have a comic book that has a character in it, but he has no life, no substance, no meaning, and no drive, the comic's not going to thrive or survive off that. You have to have a character that actually means something. So when I watch a show or something, there's certain characters when I watch them, I'm like, that has a little bit of me in it, and it gets me thinking, it gets me motivated, and it makes me want to do something. It just drives me to do something more.
Page. A little bit of you, you say. A little bit of you say.
Yeah.
Well, noticing some appearance elements here in your character that are roughly. I don't know. Hold on. Let me see if I can make you big. Yeah.
Yeah, he looks like me, but he's totally different character than me. Totally different character than me in real life.
I don't know how to do this. I'm trying. There we go.
I don't know what you did.
There. Right? No.
What are you doing? Why? It's just, you are not allowed to touch things.
I was trying to get like a side-by-side comparison of him and himself.
Well,
obviously he's a different character. He's got his own identity.
He's got his
own.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you. Right. We do see some similarities there, right? The beard, obviously, the haircut, the hairstyle, right? The face, your face is a little bit longer than his, I'd say. I'd say he's a little bit scrunchier. He's got big ears too. But Maddie says self-insert confirmed. That's kind of what I was going for. Like, sometimes you write what you know, right? And if you know your story or yourself, you're gonna put some of that into your characters. The danger is when it becomes too much about you and not enough about the character you're writing about. So why don't we move on? Why don't you tell us about Crescent Blue? Who is Crescent Blue?
Crescent Blue actually was a character I was about to just throw away and put in the trash. I really didn't like his design when I first created him, because I walked up to my wife and I said, babe, help me create a character that, means something that can, has the power to, create bubbles and use it as a superpower. And so she
wait, time out. Bubbles?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Explain why bubble? Why the superpower bubbles?
Well, because my son, he has autism, and it's his way of, it's like a sensory thing for him. It helps calm him. It helps, just let him be himself. And so when I wanted the character to have this power, I wanted it just to be something that, represented my son, my wife, and just literally just something that was something people could, just enjoy watching when they see him create his things. I thought it was
So
a
your
cool power to
son
do.
blows bubbles like with a bubble wand?
I do them for him, and he loves
You
it.
blow
Oh
the
my gosh.
bubbles, and your
Uh-huh.
your son like pops the
Yeah.
bubbles, or he's
Yeah.
fascinated by the
Yeah.
bubbles. So
Yeah.
in a way, you make you have the power to
Yes.
soothe your son and
Yes.
soothe his anxiety and
Yes.
to bring him back down because of the bubbles. All right, so I
Yeah.
can see the infusion there, the character
Yeah.
parallel. So he uses bubbles. How does Crescent Blue use his bubbles? And also, why is he named Crescent Blue? Why not Bubble Blue? Like what is in the name? Usually like look at this. So I got Spawn vibes because of the high collared cape and like the
Yeah.
lines by the eyes, right? But Spawn's obviously black, white, and red, and this guy is like blue and teal, right? But Spawn's name was Spawn because he was a hell spawn, and Spawn is an edgy sounding name, and he's got like spikes and stuff. Crescent, what is it about that word that it needs to be in his name? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, on this second cover, you see he has a lunar eclipse form, and so his powers are derived from the moon. So there's a moon goddess in my story that I'm going to talk about later in future stories that that we're going to find out about. So that's what I kind of was going for when I wanted him to have bubbles, because my wife likes the moon, and the moon made sense for his power that I was going to give him when he uses it. Because in a lunar eclipse,
All right, connect the moon and bubbles.
mm-hmm.
Do it.
Well,
Connect the moon and bubbles. You can do it, right?
Well, it's just his bubble form. It just makes him more powerful because with his lunar eclipse form, he only gets to use it 2 or 3 or 4 times out of the year.
He turns into bubbles?
Yeah, his form is a bubble. He's literally a bubble person. He just looks like a superhero. He's able to create things, kind of like Green Lantern. He's able to create things with his bubbles. There's certain things he can even glide on his bubbles, like when they float and stuff.
All right. We got to start back. We got to start back at the beginning. Who is Crescent Blue? Where did he come from? How did he get his powers? And when did he decide to become a superhero? Let's start over.
Well, that's in the book. But
I don't care. Tell me.
well,
I need to know. I want to know.
Well, he makes a wish that he wants to be a superhero. It's his last dying wish. So with my wife, she's not going to make it to 40. So when I made this story, I wanted it to be just kind of like a send off for her. Just the guy looks like me, but in all reality, he has like things. My wife, she's had 30 plus brain surgery, so I wanted to make a character that kind of represented her. And it's just a fun take on just a normal superhero story. Like he makes a wish, he gets his second chance, and he wants to blow bubbles as his last wish, just to be like, hey, I got to do something fun, before I pass away into this world. And, he gets his second chance, and what he wished for was to blow bubbles. And so he's going to be a bubble manipulating master. And so he gets told how he gets to use his powers and what they do and stuff. So in the book, you'll get to see him make things, he's not just going to be able to do them instantly. It's kind of like a Green Lantern kind of portrayal. He'll have to think of what he wants to create and create them. But in the book, it's like do or die. If he doesn't make it out of this book, he's a goner. So there's a lot hanging on him for this book. If he doesn't make it out, he's a goner. There's no, he got his second chance, but if he doesn't make it, he's gone. There's no redos. If he loses this battle, he's gone. There's no coming back. I'm not going to have no comeback for him. So when I wrote this story, I wanted it to mean something. So I just played a little bit of stuff from, things that my wife loved, what my son loves, and made him into something that was pretty cool.
What's the name of the character with the stuff around his neck with the really high collar? This reminds me very much of a character. He's from DC, and I can't remember the name of the character right now.
Because Spawn, Dr.
No,
Strange,
it's
Dr.
not.
Fate
It's not. No, this is a DC character. Old school Golden Age.
Isn't he,
Golden Age hero.
What's his
Aldous.
name? What's his
Ask
name?
Aldous if he's still here.
What's his name? I know who
Big
Mo,
high
because-
collar,
because
big
Mo knows
necklacey
everything.
looking thing. Yeah, I don't remember. But I'm sure Aldous would know. It's not like the madman. It's something like that though. I don't remember.
Crescent Blue stops villains from making a clean getaway in many social scenarios. They dread the sound of his catchphrase, "This sud's for you," says Muppet.
So the bubbles. Red Tornado, Dr. Fate, close. It might be Red Tornado with the high collar because you know he's an android, right? He's a robot. Isn't Red Tornado a robot? I can't remember now.
I believe
but I
you're
think that this
the iconic Professor Bubblebat.
no, I'll look this up. This was a different character.
John Rossi wants to know, can Crescent Blue surf?
Surf? Can he surf?
I mean, he creates bubbles. I'm pretty sure he could. He could surf on them for sure.
We got Jay Burtz. What is up, Jeremy Burtz? Bow. Glad to have you with us. So, all right. Crescent Blue is a character, is a guy who.
Second Red Tornado is an android. So
the second Red Tornado is an android. So it might have been the first one then. Yeah, with the. I think he had a tall blue cape then. And you know what? I'm gonna have to go searching through the internet and see if I can find who I'm talking about, and then I'll hit you up in the DMs. Anyway, so Crescent Blue makes a wish, gets bubble powers because he wishes he could blow bubbles one more time, and that leads to him becoming a superhero somehow. I'm not quite sure, but there's this villain that he's fighting on this cover, and the villain's tattooed with the word liar all over their body, and he's got like a big serpent lizard head thing. What is that about? Who is the antagonist?
Oh, liar! He's a
dishonest. He's a very dishonest character.
He's a very evil character based on my childhood. So,
your childhood was evil?
Oh, my father was. I grew up in my father was an alcoholic and abusive. So, when I was able to leave from my little town and do life, I was able to try to get away from that. And so, just all that trauma and stuff I had, I just wanted to put it into a character that, looked evil and just represented things that just, I couldn't get over and things in my life. So when I created Liar, I wanted to be something that, when people look at him, everybody hates a liar. When you say something and lie about it, this is what that character embodies. He's literally a demon that feeds on lies. He can seek them out. You can lie to him all you want. You can try to be a truth teller, but he literally is a snake. He knows when people are lying. And so all them scars those little tattoos are actually scars of all the people who's lied, and he's taken victim. So his face, he's a demon from hell. He's one of Satan's top dogs, and he gets to pretty much do what he wants. He gets to come on this earth through a human vessel and just wreak havoc whenever he feels like it.
And his arch nemesis is a guy who blows bubbles.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm trusting you here. It doesn't sound all that cohesive to me, but I'm trusting you here that there's a rhyme to this reason to this madness.
There is. Because in my next story, Liar, it's 50 pages. You'll get to learn a lot of the backstory between Crescent Blue and Liar. You'll get to see a lot of stuff behind that.
Right. So then the clash between the two of them, what's the driving force behind their conflict, and what are the stakes of their battle?
I may have started something that we can never come back from.
Just, all right, look, chat, you can't just randomly tell her to punch me in the middle of the stream. I get if I say something cheesy or stupid or I antagonize her, you can tell her to punch me. It's perfectly valid. But derailing the stream with having her punch me is not necessarily something I'm going to get on board with. Anyway, the stakes behind their conflict. It's still fair because I can't punch her back.
Wow.
Like I said, Crescent Blue, he literally is told from the god of destiny, like when he's in his new form, that he will not come back from this. He has to beat this demon liar, or he's done. He's gone forever. There's no comeback for him. His soul will go to heaven where it was supposed to go. He won't get his second chance to try to be a hero or do anything. And Liar, when he wins, he literally will get to wreak havoc on anything and everything that he, has wanted. And you'll get to see his human form in the book, Liar's human form and stuff. And you'll get kind of the sense of what Crescent Blue knows who he is and things in that story. So, it's just literally just a superhero just trying to find his way and, do something that he's dreamed about. And we'll see if he makes it out at the end, because it's going to be a nice little story. Just something that I had written years ago, and I put it together, and I just want people to enjoy it as much as I put it together.
All right. So tell us about Wakeverse Comics. Is it an interconnected superhero setting like Marvel, DC,
everything's everything's pretty much in the Milky Way galaxy. I'm not doing no multiverse. I'm trying to keep everything inside of our own little galaxy. Planets we haven't seen before and stuff like that. I have a character that's from Pluto. I have other characters that are from other stars in the solar system. I have characters that are on Earth that, I have an electric oceanographic engineer who uses water to make electricity. I have a character, who's a space traveler. I have a character who has Kipora, martial arts. I have a character from Jupiter. So I try to keep all my characters in a little solid little foundation so they can all, be able to come together when, I write that big story for them all to come and battle our huge villain sooner or later.
All right. Do we know who the identity of that villain is? Is it Satan? Are you going to have him fight Satan?
No. No, he's a character, like I drew him with Crescent Blue, so it's a pretty cool character down the line.
Mo's right. Despite being a landowning white man, the only thing I don't get a vote on is who has a wrench in my chat.
That's true. Anything chat related is governed.
I don't know. I did not agree to that part, but Mo does get final say. So
Mo is king of the chat.
He's king of the chat. So how long have you been working on Crescent Blue? And when did you come up with their character design?
Oh, I've been working on this story for the past 2 years. I drew Crescent Blue back in 2015 when my son was born. So I've had him in my, style and been able to draw him. I could literally draw him with my eyes closed for 8 straight years. I know every part of his look, everything. So I've had this character. I've already had all his powers and everything, years before I wrote this book and put it together. And I had a lot of fun traditionally drawing it all. And then I was finally able to get Procreate on a digital tablet. So I was able to finally put colors on this book, and I'm pretty proud of it. I'm not a great artist, but at least I attempted to do what I wanted to do, and I put it all out there. And I'm pretty proud that I was able to do 34 pages of a story. And then I have a couple, the covers I did originally, I was able to color them. There's a thank you page in the book, and there's a page of my logo in it where people can follow my, page and stuff for future stories. So I'm pretty proud of how I was able to put it together, because it was pretty hard. Because I really had to, when I was scanning my pages, they were too bright. So there was a lot of stuff I had to redraw and Procreate and just redo, and I was happy that, when I got Procreate, I was able to dabble in it for a little while before I was able to color this and put it together. So it took me a while to learn how to color and Procreate, but I was pretty happy about it. And I'm pretty proud of where it came, because I really didn't think I was going to get it out by this year. Thought I might get it out by next year, because I really wanted to launch it on my son's birthday, and I almost didn't get the chance because I was barely finished with the book. So I'm glad where I am now. And that cover, that cover right there, cover number 1, that one, I love just the way I was able to do his hands, because, I love drawing superheroes.
You're doing an homage there, maybe? That an homage to a particular pose that somebody does?
I guess it could be.
Is it kind of? Hey, we got Rod Looper. We've also got RC Scott and Eric Grant joining us. Yeah, he did sneak in there. Got a little bit of got a comment in there between everybody. Glad to have all of you with us. Thank you so much.
Say hello to
and we didn't say hello to Will.
Or I know we said hi to Jeremy Birds. I'm not sure if we said hello to Dean.
What's up, Dean? Good day, good day. You say it. Say it.
It's terrible.
Say it anyway.
No, I can't. I'm sorry. Shut up. I'm looking with Phil Diaz was in here before. Here we go. Here we go.
Phil Diaz. Hey, glad to have you with us too. Sorry guys, we're not calling him out the way we should.
Ape says hello.
Ape has been silenced.
No, he's unsilenced.
Oh, he's unsilenced now? No. Good. It's been at least 10 minutes or 5 minutes or whatever it is. Okay, so you've been working
You have to respect Rod's motto, help people. Because I think he wrote, instead of hello, he wrote help people.
Yeah. That's how we got Goat Rider.
Yes.
Or Goats Rider. Yeah.
Is he gonna be part with Sprint Chicken?
Sprint Chicken and Goats Rider?
Are they gonna have a crossover collab?
I don't know. We'll have to talk. We'll have to talk to Mo Biggs and Joe Catapano about that. We'll see. But yeah, that's definitely how we get those interesting moments. So you've been working on this particular story about Crescent Blue for 2 years, but you've been drawing him for the past 8, right?
Yeah.
We've got his primary antagonist is the Liar. I'm not quite sure why they're fighting, and I guess the stakes are going to be Crescent Blue's life, whether or not Crescent Blue comes out of this alive. So that does seem like a pretty exciting story. Interesting introduction to a character who has bubbles as a superpower, or is made of bubbles. I'm not quite sure how which one it is, but this is the first book you're crowdfunding, right? And you were saying you were having trouble getting the book ready to come out this year, right? Because you wanted to launch it on your son's birthday. Now, why get into the crowdfunding game in October of 2023?
Well, like I said, I really wanted to launch on my son's birthday. Like it made sense for me because I wanted to have a special launch on his day. And of course it was during, I knew it was going to go until November. So I was just hoping just to launch it because I really just wanted to have the book out because I had it done and I wanted people to get it. And it was either do Crescent Blue or just wait and then do Liar last. So it was either do Crescent Blue or Liar, and I didn't have Liar finished yet. And I had my other story, Blood Sable. It was all done, but I haven't finished lettering it. So this was the book I had ready to go, and I wanted to make sure I launched it.
Mo says, I feel like officially being named the Liar would make it difficult to successfully carry out your life's purpose. It kind of gives away what you're about, right? John says, Crescent Blue looks so serious for a power that sounds like so much fun. It does sound fun to be able to make bubbles, right? It sounds like a very interesting setup. And where it came from, right? What's that?
Said it would definitely keep me entertained.
Making bubbles? Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So what I meant more along the lines of it being October of 2023 is this book probably would have been doing better if it came out in October of 2020 or 2021. I don't know if you've noticed, but there seems to be a bit of a lull in funding. The funding in crowdfunding has seemed to be like a little thin of late. So did you think about that in releasing this book, or was it more just like, oh, it's done, I'll put it out there?
Oh yeah, I've already mapped out the details. Hopefully if it succeeds, I'll be able to ship it out to people. If it doesn't, I'm going to be going to a Comic-Con next year, I think in a couple of months, and I'll be able to print off some books if it doesn't fund for myself and just share it there because I have people from Tulsa who wanted me to come to a Comic-Con at the Jewish Museum. So I'll be able to go up there and just sell my books and just be able to get the word out for this book. So like I said, I just wanted to get this book out to people because I'm very proud of it. If it doesn't fund, that's okay. It's not the first Kickstarter I've done that didn't, go right. And I still was able to get it out to people and people still enjoyed the book. So, I just wanted to retry again. And, just like I said, if it funds, it funds. If it doesn't, that's life. Sometimes you ain't going to get successful on your first try and you're going to fail and fail and fail. And it's just the way you get back up and do things. So I'm just going to get up if it doesn't fund and just do what I got to do.
Mo Big says, do you have plans to sell this character to Disney? I hear Splash Mountain is in need of a new mascot. That's true, although, the whole Brer Rabbit thing I hear is making a comeback. Will said, could be worse, like launching in 2 to 25, Neff. Or is that February of 25? I'm not quite sure what he means by that.
Yeah, probably February.
February of 2025. I don't know. Like 2025, I think is going to be a better year for all of us than the rest of 2023 and 2024.
I have too much on my plate.
2024 is going to be a bad year.
Now.
It's going to be thin. It's going to be cold.
It's
like
going to be great because the next Mavericks comes out in 2024.
No, it is going to come up at probably the worst time for a comic book to be in pre-orders and crowdfunding. It is going to be coming out in the last leg before the election cycle. We're talking July, August of 2024, right before September, October, and then the November election. We're going to get no traction. We will have no advertising. We will have no audience.
And
it'll be impossible.
We're doing it anyway.
Yeah, which means that I have to plan for a complete and total marketing blackout. So I have to be able to release the book and succeed at that, right? So I've got a year to figure out how to get that done. My life. I love my life. I love my wife. Yeah, no, I do love my wife. right?
I'm sorry, like you did not sound very convincing on that last one.
So let's look more at the campaign page and specifically about the tiers. Now, first, I got to ask you about the funding goal. Why make a book that only has a $500 funding goal?
Oops.
Well, look, I just wanted to make sure that it was able to fund. Like I said, most of the cost is going to go into literally buying the book. The shipping's not going to be much here in Oklahoma. It's actually pretty low here. So I'll be able to actually, get all the books and stuff with under $500 and then be able to ship it. So it made, when I was doing the crunching the numbers, it was pretty easy. If I was able to hit that goal, if I had to pay a couple extra dollars, I could do out of my own pocket. It wouldn't bother me. So it made a lot of sense to do that. Like I said, every dollar that's in this Kickstarter, I'm just literally going to use for the book and ship it out to people so they can have physical copies of the book.
Mo Biggs, I respect that he keeps the funding as transparent as the public.
That's good. I like that. So you don't need money. You're not looking to really be compensated for the volume of work that you put into this, because let's face it, writing and then drawing and then coloring and then lettering a comic book, it's not easy. It might be fun, you might have a fun time doing it, but it's time consuming, and you're not making any money on this book. Clearly, like $400 for printing and $100 for shipping, you're lucky to break even on it at all. You're certainly not making anything, and also you're not doing anything to help yourself with these tiers. They're priced far too reasonably. $8 for 40 pages. $8 for 40 pages. That's like a really good deal, and then only $5 shipping. Like, what are you doing making this affordable and attractive to your backers? What's up with that? Why not $25?
I'm not sure if I can.
Oh, have you seen this economy? I don't think anybody wants to shell out $20-$30 for a comic book. That's insane.
Fair enough. Yeah, it's fair enough.
Yeah.
I mean, that just doesn't mean people aren't asking for that much, right?
Yeah, well, and that's okay. Like I said, the place where I'm shipping from, literally the costs are perfectly fine for me to ship with that price.
Yeah. Well, you're gonna have to give me some info in the back room about how you're getting your prices down so low, because it took some fucking magic on my end to get my prices down that low for Judex.
Well, when you live in a small town, you can definitely get your way around pricing in a smaller town.
That's fair.
So it's like 40 pages, your comic, right? 30 something.
Yeah, it's 34 pages, the whole story, and then I have a couple, pages in there that I drew myself. That's a part of the book.
Nice. For $8 plus $5 shipping.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I had fun drawing the whole thing. Like I said, money. Everybody keeps talking about money, money, money. I really just want people to have the book. I had fun drawing it. Like I said, I get commissions every once in a while to, make up for stuff that I draw, and I'm okay with that. Like, I just want to just inspire people to draw and create and just have this book. Like I said, I didn't come into Kickstarter to make the money and put it in my pocket. I just really want people to have something that, they can say, hey, I know this guy who made this book, and now I have something, for years to come later on down the line that I can just pull out and read whenever I feel like it.
Neff, you could hire DeWayne as an artist to cut costs. I'm thinking blockbuster crossover. We could, if you're willing to work for free, we could make something happen. Will says, is he getting that Gluck 2000 discount? No. I'm not getting that discount. Aldous says, that's the right attitude. Do it because you love it. Yeah, that's one of the things that really, I guess, appealed to me about this campaign. DeWayne is not making any money on this. He's selling at an incredibly affordable price point. He paid attention to what's out there and got the shipping down absolutely as low as humanly possible. You cannot go lower than $5 shipping right now. It is it's impossible. It is not possible.
Like I said,
with media mail being like $3.50, you cannot go lower than $5 shipping. It's not a thing. And he's doing it for love of the game, right? So one of the things I would ask then is, if you spent so much time working on this book, and you did say earlier that you don't think you're the best artist, what could you be doing to improve the book, the art, the layouts, anything in particular, the lettering that you think you could improve on to make it a more attractive endeavor, I guess, for the next time around, and to get more people interested?
Oh yeah, I definitely need to work on my color work. Like you'll see in the book, I did like 3 or 4 layers of coloring. Like like I said, being a digital artist, I can definitely tell it gets hard. Like there's some things I still need to learn on that aspect of how to shade things, add color, add brightness, add, more vibrant things into the book. So I definitely want to get better in my, anatomy and things of that nature, make it, more entertaining for people, stuff like that. Cause there's a couple of posters in here that I had a lot of friends, do and reach out to me when I support this book, that they're great artists. And so I want to try to mimic that type of style one day, because I have my own style of the way I like to do things. And I just, anytime I look up an artist, I try to, get a little bit of extra details from them, asking how I can get better at it, and just, there's a lot of things I can do different. Like that first poster you're showing, oh man, that took me forever, but I love how I was able to do that bubble gum effect where the light shining off the purple bubbles and stuff. So that took me a long time. I had a lot of fun doing all these posters and stuff and just working on my coloring scheme. Because even in that picture you see right there, I know I can do a lot more blue color layers on that one, get a little more lighter on them so it can actually look like the background shining off his suit.
Nice.
Hi, buddy.
Got a little buddy?
Yeah, it's my son. He's just checking on me. He's just checking on me,
making sure dad hasn't gotten lost. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is definitely a new spill on the color wheel. Absolutely. $4.99 was a game changer. So
Thanks,
why
Lois.
commission the variant covers?
Which ones?
Do you have
The alternate
variants,
covers?
right? Yeah.
Yeah, that
the
Crescent Blue
variant
cover you
alternate
see
covers.
right there, I've had that cover for years now. I had that commissioned a long time ago, by Mr. Greenlight on DeviantArt. He drew that for me. He was a good old friend of mine. He was just wanted to do something for me. So, on DeviantArt, he had some great prices going on back in like 2018, 2019. So I've had that, that cover sitting on the shelf. So I just wanted to use that for this one because that was one of the main covers I had that I wanted to do for the book to show his lunar eclipse form. So I've had that tuckered away. So I'm glad I was able to finally use it for this story after I was able to finish coloring it and lettering it and doing it all. But this cover, I've had that sitting. I finally was able to color it after 4 years. Like that one was one of my favorites to color and, redo and procreate and just add a little more love and detail to it.
Mo Biggs asks, why wasn't Ogden on this project? And you know very well why, Mo. He was shifting his attention to other things. We've got Jay Ryan with us. Damn poor Rob. Still gets no credit for the wheel. Yeah, but the wheel was rigged. I am weary of wheels, thanks to Bancroft. John Rossi says the color of the Crescent Blue looks like Spider-Man. Good pick on the colors.
Actually, his colors are pink, blue, and light blue, like Carnival cotton candy. So if people want to know why he's those colors, it's the cotton candy colors. My wife loved those colors, so yeah.
So a lot of you and a lot of your family encoded in the comic.
That's what it's been since day one. Wake Comics, the Wake verse I created was all about family and things like that. That's what keeps me going every single day. I have so many characters that I created for my son, that I've just enjoyed just doodling up and just putting together. Like I wouldn't be into comics if it wasn't for my family.
Now, you said you want people to just have the book, right? Like it's most important for you to have people be inspired by this book and to enjoy the story and everything. So who are those people? Who are you marketing your book towards? And how's that working out?
There's a lot of smaller artists that, anytime I post on Instagram, reach out to me. Like one of my friends, Donnie Green, who has one of the posters down here, he's a phenomenal artist. And he was actually one of the guys to send me his, one of his digital art pads and his Procreate pencil to my house from New York and say, I believe in you too. I want you to be able to succeed and bring your stuff to life. Like, I love it that I just reach out to little artists who I know are just great, and I talk to them all the time, and they just see that I have potential in what I'm doing. I see potential in them, and, I thrive off stuff like that. Because everybody deserves to succeed in one way or another. I'm just, I know what it's like to come from a little town and, people don't, see the potential you have that you see in yourself. So I just feel like to spread that love that way, and just anytime I get a chance, Donnie Green, that one right there, just feel the chance to work with the artist who I know is great and just be able to do covers and posters and stuff with them and be like, hey, you supported me, I'm going to support you and stuff like that. Because the indie comics community, we need each other more than anything. Because
Yep.
it's a very small corner in the indie comics community. Like, it's not a very big one, but the people you do surround yourself with are good people.
Don't take it the wrong way, but I am going to disagree with you. I don't think anyone deserves to succeed to any degree. But I can see that you and other people like you, the people that you venerate, like Donnie, are working incredibly hard.
Oh yeah, like people who put in the work.
And,
Yeah, if they're not putting in the work, then yeah. If people aren't putting in the work to get their stuff put out there, because I was scared to even put this out there, and I'm okay with that. I want to be scared. I want to be able to put something out there, because you got to get past your fear in order to do stuff that you love. If you're too scared to put it out there, you're never going to know if it's going to succeed or not.
Mo says, without the children of creators bringing inspiration, we'd have never had Greedo shooting first or M. Night Shyamalan's Lady in the Water. Okay, so he's got, all right, fair point. Not everything inspired by a creator's children is necessarily good or a good idea. But some things, and I could say stoking a creator's love of comics and getting them inspired to make one of their own might be a positive thing. Certainly more so than Greedo shooting first, which was the most ridiculous thing anyone ever.
Hi, Travis.
We got Travis. Travis got something new cooking, right? We got to get him on the show
Travis
soon.
always has something new cooking.
Right.
But I think I know he's doing a story in an anthology that Bad Bug is putting out, and he also has Granite State coming out soon. I think the next one. It's both. I'm not sure if it's his crowdfunder for it or if it's that it's going on the stands.
Well, you'll have to ask him on a show that isn't this show.
Yes.
We got Sean Ross. He said, well said. Thank you. I pride myself on being articulate.
Also, unpopular opinion, I like Lady in the Water.
It is an unpopular opinion.
Oh, yeah. And also
Granite State Punk, The
the
Coven. Plus some with Bad Bug, Roseblood Manor, right? That's the anthology.
Yeah, I just wasn't sure if Granite State was a crowdfunder or just coming on the stands, or if maybe it's doing both at the same time. I don't know.
So you're a new creator, right? How do you raise your visibility online? How do you increase, I guess, traffic to your Instagram, say, or get people to notice your art more? And what's the goal of the business?
You have to post and you have to talk to people. Like, that's just what you have to do. You have to talk to people. Whether if you're scared or not, you're going to have to talk to people and show them your work and let them know about your projects. You're just going to have to talk to people. You're going to have to post every single day if you have to. That's just life. You've got to get out of your comfort zone and just show it everywhere you can. I post on, DeWayne, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, everywhere. Anywhere I can go, ArtStation, anywhere. That's where I post at. So I can make sure anybody wherever they are can see it.
And what's the goal of Wakeverse publishing, Wakeverse Comics?
Well, I just want to make the world enjoy my characters. I want them to see the love I put into them, and hopefully my characters inspire them to create the characters they've been having put on the shelf and bring to life. I just want to show that tragedy can be turned into something of opportunity.
So you're looking to make comics, like you were saying, sort of in an interconnected storytelling setting, right? So you're going to make Crescent Blue and then Liar and these other comics that are kind of interconnected, right? So the goal is to, I guess, build.
I know it's not like a new idea. I know everybody's been doing that. Make a world everybody can enjoy. So it's just
but I guess what I mean is the goal is building your pantheon, right? Like getting the books about these characters out and telling the stories and making them bigger. So you're in it for like the long haul. It's not just to make one comic. So since it's kind of for the long haul, and you're relying on yourself for writing and arting, coloring, lettering, and all of that, it takes a lot of time, right? Have you thought at all about what a release schedule would look like, or what kind of production schedule you would have to keep in order to maintain these regular releases and keep people interested?
Oh yeah. If I'm going to release a book, it's going to have to be like every year or two. If I'm doing it all by myself, it's going to take a while. So, I'm making sure that, any comic that I do, like that I have finished already, I'm going to have a setup of how long it's going to take me, how many pages I'm going to do each day, things like that. So I can make sure I can get it, because I have 2 more projects I want to get out by next year. And I'm definitely going to make sure those 2 get out before I start on anything new. Because I have
Gotcha. So
Liar
you
and
actually
I
have a
have,
plan. You figured out your schedules. You're pretty damn organized.
yeah.
You've already got your
Yeah.
shipping down to $5. Your
Hmm.
basic comic book tier is $8. You have a really low funding goal. You're doing this for love of the game. Like, I can't really find fault with any of the stuff you're doing, no matter how hard I try. Even you saying that, you're working on improving the art and developing your talent and cultivating your skill more. It sounds like you're kind of in the right mindset for all of this, and it's just a matter of time and application of effort until we see
Yeah.
a real growth and return on the work that you've put in.
Yeah. Like I said, I have to start somewhere. And so, when I was drawing Crescent Blue and Liar, all I wanted to do was make sure, yeah, it's charging, buddy. I wanted to make sure that, that Crescent Blue was a character that I was able to finish first and just get out to people because he's my favorite character. He's the face of my brand, and I want people to enjoy him as much as I do. I know bubbles sound like a silly superpower, but to me, what it represents in my life, bubbles mean a lot, more than most people would think. And
So
so,
what
like, I love
challenges
Crescent.
have you faced so far crowdfunding your comic book?
Like you said, it's just, some people don't like, superhero stuff. They want that dark humor and, the anime type of stuff like that. And so I'm trying to, with everything I'm trying to show people is trying to just show a little difference in what I've got compared to normal superhero characters like that you would see every day and original and stuff like that. So that's kind of the hindrances. I know there's not a lot of people who know my character, so I got to keep just expanding him and showing him to people and letting them know that, hey, this is a great book. Just check it out, spread the word, do things like that, because it's hard. When you're a guy who's only done like 2 Kickstarter campaigns, not a lot of people know you, so you're gonna have to go out of your comfort zone and just keep trying to push it as far as you can. And so luckily I'm already at 50%, thank goodness. So I'm just got 30 more days to get the rest of it and I'll be good to go.
So what advice do you have for fledgling creators trying to get into the world of making comics, and any words of wisdom that you might have for newbies?
Take your time. Don't rush. Like my first project, I rushed it and I tried to make it a huge goal that I couldn't do it. So make sure you create a book, make sure you have everything laid out, make sure you are able to afford the things that you create and able to ship to people. Just make sure you have your logistics down first and just love it. Just enjoy what you're doing. Yeah. And just enjoy what you're doing and just take it a day at a time, because if you rush through it, you're not going to be able to finish it. So when you decide to do that Kickstarter, make sure you got all your I's dotted and all your T's crossed, and just take the time that you need and just enjoy the ride, because it's going to get stressful through the campaign. There's things that you can't control. So if you want the goal to hit at a certain day, it's not going to happen. You can't force people to love your book. You just got to just ride it out.
Right. It's a good point. So Mo Big says, take your time, don't rush. That's my motto when working on ARO. And to his point, you do have to get it done sometime, right? Like you do have to keep yourself to a deadline and force yourself to, pick up the pace, work harder, release, to maintain your tempo for production of books. We can't all be auteurs like Mo Biggs, who releases on his time frame, at his leisure, and we're waiting for the book in line, like the devoted fans that we are.
Yeah, like with Crescent Blue, I wanted to launch it on my son's birthday. So when I was doing the whole book, I wanted to make sure this year I was able to do it. Was it a perfect launch? No. I was moving. I had to move fridges and ovens and stoves and everything into my new home. I had to travel 2 hours away. I didn't have any Wi-Fi or electricity to, get things going to start it. So it was a struggle at first, but then, when I was able to actually, get on it and do what I needed to do, so far it's been a better experience than the first time around. So I'm very thankful what I'm doing right now is all right.
Travis says, wait, you have to put out your comics? No, Travis, you can leave them in demand for like 3 years and not ship them and just get people to continue backing them and backing them and backing them and then do a second chance campaign for that same comic with a new cover before you even fulfill the first one. Like that's
Neff is sassy today. It's been a common theme lately.
To be fair, Mo has not run a crowdfunding campaign for ARO yet.
Their words, not mine.
He has spoken about the book. In fact, we already know it is going to be written once it's been released, and that it's going to be the next big thing.
He'll do it after it's done.
But he hasn't started taking anyone's money for it yet.
Well, that's because it's going to be on GoFundMo, where he deals solely in Mo exposure.
Right. Well, no. You pay him.
Oh.
In Mo exposure.
Yeah.
Right. Or you pay, or does he pay you? Honestly, I'm not sure how Mo exposure works.
I don't know.
It's a conundrum.
But I have a feeling that Mo coins are a good investment.
So I prefer keeping potential customers and waiting over actually customers waiting. I prefer keeping potential customers waiting over actual customers waiting. That's a good point. Yes, that's probably the best way to do business. To string your potential customers out, rather than telling them something. Over time, right. All right, that's going to be probably where we wrap it up. I know you had an hour to talk with us, Stan. I don't want to push you past that. So do you have any final words? Do you want to get the last word?
Well, just check out Crescent Blue Conquer Darkness on Kickstarter. The link's on my Instagram, Facebook, everywhere you need to find me. You can find me, DM me if you want to know more about the book and stuff like that. It's easy to find me. My Instagram name is Ride a Show. You can find me at Wakeverse on Instagram too. So if people want to back the book and support it, I appreciate it very much. And thanks for having me on the show. I appreciate it a lot. Enjoy watching you guys. So thanks for having me on. It means a lot.
It's a pleasure talking to you.
Glad to have you with us. Glad that you're putting out a book, and I think you're doing it for all the right reasons and in probably the best way that you can. So that's going to be it for us tonight, guys. Thank you so much for sticking with us.
Wait, I have to interrupt you. Mo Big says, I pay my artists in exposure. I pay my customers in fulfillment. By that, I mean the fulfillment they feel in their hearts when they give me money.
Yes, I feel very fulfilled giving Mo money so he can pay his artists in exposure.
Okay, now, go back.
Now we're going to sign off, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in, hanging out with us. Thank you so much, DeWayne, for coming by, talking about Crescent Blue. If you like the content, leave a thumbs up. Always, you can subscribe, click the bell for notifications to find out when we go live next. And
tune into the frequency.
We will see you next time.
Bye.